to episode 31 of the Dream Hills 2 podcast. On the podcast this week, the sad news of the victims from the house collapse that happened a couple of weeks back has died. So some news on that one. So also some news about a couple of people unfortunately losing their lives in the rainstorms over in Mallorca, and some talk about the meeting of the San Miguel area for the open cast mine that's going on. So let's get straight on to the first story. As I said, the sad news of the house collapse victim dying from the house collapse a couple of weeks back. The British man who was rescued from the Orihuela Costa apartment when the two-storey building started to collapse on September the 26th has died. Malcolm Lawrence was 58 and sadly passed away at Torrevieja Hospital on Tuesday morning. His cause of death has been given as emphysema and liver failure, which existed previously to the incident, but nonetheless he said that Mr. Lawrence's friends are convinced that the dust and the stress of the ordeal worsened his condition. He was rescued by the emergency services after the apartment above his ground floor home started to sink, and he was unable to escape because the security grille on his door would no longer open. He suffered extensive bruising and was also treated for shock at Torrevieja Hospital before being discharged on October the 2nd into the care of friends, although he still required oxygen. However, his condition worsened a few days later and he had to be readmitted but did not recover. Mr. Lawrence's daughter was due to arrive on Tuesday evening, and details of the funeral had not been arranged at the time of going to press. He described his friend as a thoroughly nice gentleman who would always help those in trouble, adding, "We've lost one of our own." He indicated that a wake will probably be held in their local, the Friendly Bar, which they often use to put the world to rights. Another British man had to be rescued from the top floor apartment using a crane, and he was also taken to hospital with shock, but was otherwise unharmed, while a British couple downstairs managed to escape by themselves. None of the residents have been allowed to return to the area to collect their belongings, as there is a high risk of it collapsing completely. A town hall spokesman said that its engineer's report was handed to them on Monday and concluded that the building will have to be demolished. She also explained that this will have to be arranged and paid for by the insurance companies of the 8 households, meaning that if any of them were uninsured, they would have to contribute towards the expense from their own pocket. Residents of the 6 homes nearest to the collapsed building have not been allowed to move back in since, either due to their proximity or the precarious structure. The town hall has issued a deadline for the demolition project to be presented, but did not reveal when. So condolences there to the family of the gentleman, the 58-year-old Malcolm Lawrence. Sad news there. If anybody can, if they want to write in or say anything about this gentleman, please go ahead. But as I said, respects to his family there. It's a sad day. On to a storm tragedy over in Mallorca as well. I don't know whether you've had them there. I know I've seen some news about lightning strikes and stuff like that. But over in Mallorca, the worst of the weather hit the municipality of Sant Llorenç de Cardassar near Menorca in the east of the holiday island, with the state news agency EFE stating that this was the centre of the catastrophe. Emergency services launched a search and rescue operation on Tuesday night when the full scale of the flooding and devastation became apparent. Guardia Civil, firemen, local police and protection civil volunteers worked through the night to locate people who may have been trapped or had been swept away by the flood water. The first 2 victims were found in Sant Llorenç in the early hours of yesterday. Deputy Mayor of Sant Llorenç, Antonio Borza, said 2 Britons had died, were travelling in a taxi which was swept away by the floodwater. She noted that the driver of the vehicle is still missing. Emergency services reported that 2 people were found dead in their own homes after torrents surged through their properties and they were unable to escape. Meteorologist Pedro Gomez from Meteo Orihuela noted that 220 litres per square metre of rain had fallen in around 2 hours, which was causing the catastrophe. Videos shot by residents and placed on social media show a torrent of water surging through Saint Laurent, sweeping away vehicles and almost anything in its path. So once again, sad news there of 2 people, well, more than 2 people dying, and unfortunate there. Let's think about those for a second, and just be aware that the water, even though we don't see much of it, when it does happen quite quickly and quite a torrent. So let's be careful out there when it does rain, and just be aware of your surroundings. Okay, well, on to the next story. This is about a meeting about the Opencast mine that they've been talking about over by the San Miguel area. Around 175 expats attended a meeting in English on Monday morning about the project for an open-cast mine in San Miguel de Salinas. Organiser Manolo Gomez, who is president of the San Miguel Archangel Residents Association, noted that a number of the residents have joined the fight against the scheme. Most of them were British expats living in nearby urbanisations such as Las Filipinas, Torre Estrella and the Ciudad de las Comunications, but people also attended from Torremendo village. They were told about the stages of the scheme, prospecting first, and if the results are positive, a request to run an open-cast mine. The residents were also shown a video of the mining company and a map of the area affected. When they saw the area on Google Maps and the video about their similar mines, they were shocked, and many of them have decided to do something about it, explained Senor Gomez. They realised how close the scheme would be to their homes and the environmental and financial threat it poses to the town and to themselves. He also said that it's very important that the scheme is stopped before a licence to prospect is issued, because this and the Opencast mine project are directly linked. Senor Gomez noted that residents have joined the association's petition campaign and will ask their friends and neighbours to sign. Other expats will distribute leaflets at the weekly market about a demonstration planned for this Sunday. Others have asked to attend the meetings of the Anti-Mine Committee, which is made up of the association members, traders, neighbours, farmers, landowners and local business people. The demonstration will start at 12 o'clock from Cal 19 de Abril and finishes at the church square. People will be asked to sign the petition, which will be attached to the official objections to the project and submitted to the Regional Department for Industry. Senor Gomez told Costa Blanca News that several British real estate agencies, the community of owners of the Las Colinas Golf, and some building companies have also contacted the association. The fight does not stop when the official objections are submitted, he said. He says he reiterates that the licence for prospecting should not be issued under any circumstances, because if this happens, it will be very hard to prevent the Opencast mine project from getting the go-ahead. On Wednesday, a full council meeting also decided to submit official objections against the scheme because it stands in a nature area with high environmental values. The council highlighted that the scheme is at a very initial stage and an open-cast mine is not in sight. However, national mining law dating back to 1973 grants mining the distinction of being an activity of general interest and gives it priority. The company has asked to prospect for gypsum in the bit large area in the San Miguel de Salinas and Orihuela. As I said before, it runs from a very large area, and even though not directly affecting us, the noise coming from it and dust with the winds that we do get may impact on us, but not directly. So if you want to join that demonstration, please do. or if you want to contact the San Miguel de Arcangel committee over there as well in San Miguel de Salinas, please go ahead. I'll put their details in the notes for the podcast. Next story, it'll be about the primary school in the area and the pressure that's been put on for them to do what they need to do. So we'll get on to that one, and basically it's talking about the Orihuela Costa primary schools. They're having repair and maintenance works done thanks to pressure which has been brought to bear by parents' associations. Councillor for Education, Bigona Coutura, revealed that the Regional Department for Education will carry out much needed reinforcements works on the playground wall at the Los Dulces primary school. The wall separates the schoolyard and sports courts from nearby homes, but is in very poor condition with several deep cracks. Additionally, drainage pipes from the properties spill water into the school grounds. The area had to be fenced off more than a year ago due to the lack of agreement between the council and the regional government and the risk of collapse. The fencing means the pupils have a much smaller area to play in, and some sport courts cannot be used properly. An emergency exit was blocked. Parents have demonstrated and protested against this stopgap solution on a number of occasions. The announcement over the wall was made after a visit by the Regional Director of Education from Orihuela last week. He also met with the Playas de Orihuela Primary School Parents Association, and they told the Costa Blanca News that they had asked the local and regional authorities for a shaded area in the playground, swings and new furniture, as pupils are using desks and chairs from the old prefabricated school. We have committed to installing books in the shelves in the school library, she added. And then additionally, zebra crossings and traffic signs near the school have been repainted. The parents had complained that they were in poor condition and needed to be attended to urgently. The Councillor for Police, Mariola Rocamora, admitted that the area was very busy at rush hour and the situation had been dangerous for drivers and pedestrians. So great news there for the parents of the primary schools to get things done there and make their kids safe when they're at school. Well, now we're going to go on to taxis, I believe. Yes, it's taxis again. This time not involved in the taxis at the Corvira Airport, but more about the taxis throughout the area here. And now, I don't know if you remember, a little while ago, there was talk about having taxis throughout the area, because at the moment, if you're in Torrevieja can't pick up people from Orihuela Costa. Orihuela Costa can't pick up people from Torrevieja. Well, during the summer period, there was a deal that they could both pick up each other's fares. So Orihuela the Town Hall will continue now to press the regional transport authorities to give the go-ahead to a common service area for taxis in the Vega Baja south coast, according to the Orihuela Councillor for Transport, Bigona Coutura. This will allow taxi drivers from 9 towns in the Vega Baja area to offer their services outside the municipality they are based in. She said that the proposal had been submitted to the regional government several months ago, but no response has been made to date. Signora Coutura claimed that the Torrevieja Orihuela Costa taxi service common area, which was launched as a pilot scheme for the summer, has been a success. Signora Coutura claimed that people had not had long waits for taxis at Xenia Boulevard, the Xenia Boulevard shopping centre, and local hotels, as had happened before. She added that taxi drivers from Orihuela Costa and the Torrevieja had been very happy with the results. And the council added that she is due to meet Torrevieja's Councillor for Transport to discuss the initiative and would suggest continuing it with it next summer. She noted that her department is also working on a new taxi bylaw, which will establish whether more taxi licences are needed in Orihuela and how the procedure could be speeded up. Now, obviously, I haven't been there over the summer, so I don't know how much better it's been between in the summertime with taxis and have you had to wait at Xenia Boulevard? Have you had to wait at hotels or anything like that at all during the peak season in the summer? As I said, I haven't been there, so I can't comment on this one. But if you can, that would be great, and at least we'll know whether or not it's been a success. Now, the last story we're going to go to here, it's about some mud bathing deaths in the mud baths. If you know where they are, they're the mud baths over in the Pilar area. Now, there has been some deaths there, and basically what they're saying now is just be careful, really. San Pedro del Pinatar Emergency Services, they've put out a series of recommendations in an attempt to prevent deaths in the sea following the drowning of 2 elderly people on Monday and Wednesday of last week in the mud bathing area of the municipality. According to the emergency services, the victims were aged 80 and 90 and were alone in the area when they drowned. In both cases, they were pulled out of the water by other people in the area who phoned the emergency services. However, despite the efforts of local police officers and paramedics, the elderly bathers could not be resuscitated. A spokesman for the emergency services explained that the lifeguard service finished at all beaches in the area on September the 30th. However, the temperatures remain high and many people are taking advantage of the fine weather to continue to bathe on many beaches on the costas. As there are no lifeguards to watch over the bathing areas, the spokesman reminded that people should avoid going into the sea alone, particularly elderly people, diabetics and people with heart conditions. Parents with children should also keep a close eye on their offspring. Stay near the shore and enter the water slowly so that your body gets used to the lower sea temperatures. They also said that you should ask a friend or relative to accompany you so that somebody can help you and ask for help immediately in the event of a problem. The spokesman also reminded that strong winds off the sea can whip up currents. And so avoid currents, deep areas and cold water, and have light meals and drink plenty of lots of water. On the Mar Menor, nets protecting the beaches from jellyfish are now being removed by the San Pedro del Pinatar Fishermen's Guild, and the nets are installed in June to keep jellyfish in the middle of the Mar Menor during the busy summer season. So I think what it's saying there really is that if you're of an older age, just be careful. Even though it can be very, very warm, the actual water itself can be cold. And the older you get, unfortunately, you do react a little bit more to the colder temperatures. So just be careful out there, and just be aware of the dangers of the sea. Okay, that's it for this week again. I'll be out I'll be out next week. I arrive on Sunday, so if I see any of you out there, I'll say hello, and it'll be nice to see a few a few friendly faces out there again. So thank you again for listening, and I'll speak to you next Friday. Maybe do a live one from the house over there in Spain. We'll wait until I get back the following week. So thank you again, and goodbye.